Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Worthy, Worth It, and Priceless. I am your host, Tammy Simmons. And this episode is titled, Were You Asked or Did You Volunteer? And for context, basically, right now I'm in the process of, healing and, just basically loving myself and caring, all that stuff, doing all the good things. But with that being said, is also having the hard or asking yourself the hard questions. And with my people pleasing and all that stuff, and I'm like, I'm always there for other people and all that other stuff. But I had to have the hard conversation with myself. And it was like, did people ask you for help or did you volunteer help? And then you're upset that they didn't take the help, but they never asked you in the first place. So, like, for an example, just say if somebody says that um, they just say around you that they like peach cobbler, and then you go out and you go to the store and you know how expensive stuff is right now. So you get all the stuff probably with your last couple of dollars and you make it for them. And he's like, here's some peach cobbler. And they just look at you crazy. And they don't even I'm like, "I'm not hungry right now," or they don't even eat it. And then you get upset. You're like, "I sat up here and I made this peach cobbler for you and you don't even wanna eat it." But you have to go back and ask yourself. They never asked you to make it for them. They just said around you that they like peach cobbler. And sometimes we have to look at it even in our own lives. There's people around us, and yes, we may have everything in our tool bag or our Barney bag. You remember when we were kids watching Barney, but we have everything in our bag and we can help them be better. But the thing about it is, you're volunteering for somebody who never asked you for help. And a lot of times, the people that we're probably asking for help or we're trying to help or whatever, they don't have the capacity to basically reciprocate or anything like that. And so we're wondering why we're getting our heartbrokens back and forth. Sit and ask yourself, did this person ask me for help or am I volunteering? And then also too, ask yourself, just say if you go out of your way and do something for somebody, would I be okay if this isn't reciprocated back? And that goes with money and sometimes even energy. I know that we want to do the right thing and you want to be there for everybody, but sometimes you don't have it. God never asked you to give your last to anybody. A lot of times that's just something that we do. Like, oh, I'll just give my last to such and such or whatever. It'll come back one way or another. But at the end of the day, sometimes God's not asking you to even do that. We're just volunteering our last $10 or whatever, not knowing when we will, you know what I mean, what will happen with us. And then as soon as we leave that person, something might happen and we actually need that $10. We're giving away the provisions that God gave us because we're trying to help somebody else. We're helping people that God never even asked us to help sometimes. You're just in the vicinity, but doesn't mean that you are the one that's supposed to help them. You don't know by the time they get home, they may have a check. You know what I mean? God wanted to provide for them, but you stepped in the way. And that is the thing too. Sometimes I know we're trying to help people, but God wants to pull people out. He wants to be the way maker for them. And we step in the way and end up messing ourselves up in the end sometimes anyway. Doing something that God never asked us to do or anything like that. So, I'm not saying they'll help other people, but make sure that you're being asked. Make sure that God is the one who's leading you to even give. Even if somebody asks you, you still want to go with God and say, "Hey, is this something that you want me to do?" Because sometimes that's not what he wants us to do. And then we will sit up there and get ourselves or our hearts broken helping someone that God never ordained for us to help. So I hope that this helps. Hopes it gives you some little insight or something. If you like this podcast and you would like more encouragement, I do have over 300 podcasts available. I also have a YouTube channel under Worthy, Worth It, Priceless, and I am on all social media platforms under Worthy, Worth It, and Priceless. If you would like inspirational music, I do have music under my full name, which is Tammy Michelle Simmons. And I hope this helps. I love you guys. Until next time, always know you have worth, you have value, you are worthy, worth it, and priceless.